Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast known as Qualified Immunity. We're two people with very in-depth knowledge of the system attempt to take on the system. We discuss it, we debate it, we argue about it, and eventually we'll try and fix it. My name is Craig Engel. I spent almost a decade in a law enforcement capacity. My co-host, his name is Lucas Cohen, and very, very shortly, he will achieve his dream of graduating law school.
That it?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
And becoming a district attorney.
There we go.
There it is.
Thanks.
Oh!
Hi, everyone.
Today's going to be the fun day.
Fun.
All I'm going to say is I'm never going to name my daughter Ghislaine.
Because of the implications or because you can't pronounce it?
Both.
Okay.
Just both. At this point, it's both. Like, because I'm like, yeah.
We spent about 5 minutes going over how to pronounce her name.
Ghislaine. Like, don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
I know what you're going to do. And everybody's going to look at me like, is Greg really that stupid? But yes.
You didn't ask for that. I said Gil like a fish, lane like a road.
And I'm like, Ghislaine, got it.
Yeah.
Because before that it was Julian or something.
It works.
We're going to dive into the Epstein thing.
Didn't kill himself.
There it is. We can't even get
Sorry.
5 minutes. We can't get 2 minutes into this, and you're like, he didn't kill himself. Like, oh,
You know I like the memes.
everybody loves the memes, and I'm not saying I disagree with your analysis of the situation. That being said, look at it from an objective point of view. The man was facing how many decades upon decades in prison?
I don't know. I assume a lot for child trafficking.
I'm just saying it's very plausible that he could have killed himself.
What were the charges in that case? I didn't look that up.
I don't remember. It was one of those. I only think it was like 2 or 3 counts. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal.
I'm just saying, like, legally, it's not like he had like 97 charges or 97 counts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so wow, that's not very much.
I was like, he didn't get charged with that much.
So he pleaded guilty and was convicted in 2008.
That was in Florida.
Yeah, that was in Florida. That was procuring an underage girl for prostitution and soliciting a prostitute.
Yeah.
Is that
No, that was not the last case.
What was? Oh, come on.
Look up Epstein 2019.
Hang on. Arrested again 2019 on federal charges, sex trafficking of minors, and that's pretty much all it says.
Like, there was no count number that I remember.
Medical examiner ruled the death of suicide.
Medical examiner now has a nice house in the Hamptons.
Well, yeah, he's not dead. I mean, that's a pretty big persuasion tool.
So, okay, before we get into this backstory, in case you don't know this, Jeffrey Epstein was a world-renowned, world-known financier. Alleged financier.
This also lists him as an educator. Financier,
what?
Financier, broker, educator, and socialite.
Okay, everything is probably true out of that except the educator part. Unless you...
I'm sure some people got an education.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I'm sure some people got some education. That being said, he was not an educator by any stretch of the imagination. But Jeffrey Epstein was world-renowned, had some very, very influential friends. I'll put it like that. Presidents, royalty, some of the richest people in the entire world. Like the
richest and most powerful.
The elite of the elite were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. That being said, there's a lot of speculation and controversy around an island he owned in the Caribbean.
Have you seen the drone footage? There's drone footage on
I've seen
YouTube.
some of it.
It's interesting. I wouldn't say that it's like, you know.
It's not. The drone footage I saw was when the FBI was down there raiding it.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, like
this is just some individual on YouTube that just took a
yeah.
drone footage.
There was actual drone footage of like and the FBI closing the windows.
Really?
Yeah, like closing the shutters.
That's funny.
That being said, nobody has any idea what actually went on at that island.
Officially.
Officially.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say officially. Nobody has any idea what went on that island outside of speculation.
Well, other than the people that were there.
Yes, like outside of speculation, nobody has any idea what went on that island. What happened on that island? It was Little St. John's Island. You can look it up on YouTube. You can look it up on damn near anywhere. But nobody actually knows what happened.
I mean,
because remember, 10 years ago, who came out with this crazy theory that Epstein was a pedophile? You know?
Well, I know. I think it was 10 years ago. Mel Gibson said a lot of Hollywood is pedophiles.
But do you know who blasted Epstein specifically?
I don't know the specific person. No.
Alex Jones.
Was it Alex Jones?
Yes.
That actually doesn't surprise me.
That being said, Alex Jones is a con artist at best.
I have heard people. Now, I'm going to say this on Alex Jones.
Oh, here we go.
He's gotten some things right. He's gotten some things wrong. I think he has some brilliant researchers. I also think he just throws stuff at the wall to see what sticks. I also think that, and there are some people that have floated this idea, I think it's possible that he's mentally ill.
Oh, I can wholeheartedly see that. 100% see that.
Some people have suggested that
100% see that
he has personality disorders.
But fluoride and frogs. At that point, Alex Jones lost me. I
mean, fluoride is bad for you. Not good for you.
In large amounts. Stop. Just stop.
You consume any toxin over 10, 15, 20 years, it's probably not good for you. Doesn't matter how much of it you're getting.
I've consumed nicotine over 20 years. I'm perfectly fine.
Right.
Okay. Epstein had a lot of very, very, very powerful, influential friends, and they all went to these retreats on his private island. Allegedly, and this is going to say, I will say allegedly. I'm going to preface this, and he can validate this. Lucas can validate this. My disdain for sex crimes will blow your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have reverse engineered how to find people who were guilty of these things and expose them.
Well, as a cop, it used to be what you did.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
That being said, there is no legal proof, and I'm going to say legal proof. I'm not going to like it, but I'm going to say it. There was no legal proof that anything illegal happened on Little St. John's Island. With that being said, there's the letter of the law and there's the color of the law, and we know there was probably a decent amount of orgies that included underage victims on Epstein's island. We also know two other very distinct and I think very valuable points about Epstein. The people who visited his island were not dirtbags, as we would commonly associate. They were presidents.
They weren't low lives.
No, they weren't poor. They were the top 1% of the top 1% of the entire world in money, wealth, and power.
Well, and are we going to name the two that are the highest profile right now? Or,
sure, I don't care. Name them.
I mean, depending on what news sources you listen to, you've got Clinton on one side or Trump on the other.
And I had that conversation today with somebody on the phone. The problem becomes people want to say, "Oh, Trump's not a politician." They do. They want to. He's been a businessman his whole life. He's done this. He's done that. Trump's not a politician. The problem is, at a certain socioeconomic level, it's all the same club.
Yeah.
It's all the same people. Trump was friends with Epstein. Trump made headlines today for Maxwell. It's.
Well, did you watch I saw this on YouTube. It was. He did some sort of an update on coronavirus, but somebody asked a question about Ghislaine Maxwell.
And he goes, "I wish her well."
He said, "Well, yeah, that was awkward." He said, "I wish her well," but he also said since I lived in Palm Beach, and apparently they lived in Palm Beach, like they were neighbors.
Like they were it's you at some point of socioeconomic status, this becomes everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And you don't associate in circles outside of that due to not necessarily legal liability issues, but liability issues when it comes to
public
relations and brand and HR and marketing. And there's a whole, Kanye and Kim are not going to venture out very far outside of their inner circle,
right?
Because of that. Like, you and I understand their circles and how they can drastically make or break you.
Yeah.
However, the people that Epstein was having on what is known as the Leota Express, his plane, and was flying to his island for vacations, were some of the most powerful people on the planet. Now, there's been a lot of rumors. There's been a lot of theories. Like, Pizzagate spun out of Epstein.
Yeah.
Pizzagate spun, and nobody can prove Pizzagate at all. Like, period, at all. You can't prove any of that. Pizzagate was spun out of Epstein, pushed by Alex Jones, and ended up in somebody almost dying over it. Because there was the guy that showed up to the pizza parlor,
right,
with the rifle,
ready
to take on Pizzagate. And it's like,
that's not how you do this.
That's not how you do these things. Because now, this is where we get to Epstein got arrested, as everybody probably knows. Epstein met an untimely end or homicide. We could have that conversation for hours.
Yeah.
Like, you could debate the thing. Because even if you want to look and say, yes, he was murdered. Who killed him? Number one answer, what are you going to say?
Who actually did it or who arranged it?
Who arranged it?
Most people would say Hillary Clinton.
Most people would say the Clintons. And I don't think it was.
I don't know. I have a lot of friends. I have friends that are... I don't use conspiracy theory as a derogatory term. I know a lot of people do. I have conspiracy theorist friends that think he's not even dead, which I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there. I
don't see them going after Maxwell if he was.
If he was.
Or if he wasn't. Like,
if he's still alive.
Yeah, to take on that little tidbit, you don't go after Maxwell if you've got the information.
Right, but you're assuming that he gave the information.
I'm assuming if he's still breathing, he gave the information. This goes back to the whole...
We could talk about
this goes back to the whole, did Elvis really die? I seriously, it really does.
Yeah.
But you're Epstein was a dirtbag. Like, we can agree there's some high probability that Epstein was a sex trafficker, a human trafficker, and was a general dirtbag. Is that a premise of which we could both agree on?
Yeah, I think so.
With that being said, by the way, if anybody asked me, it was the British monarch.
Really?
Yeah. Too close to home.
Okay.
And the monarch will always protect the monarch.
That's fair.
Like, if you know anything about the British monarch, the monarch will always protect the monarch.
Right.
Britain be damned. I'm sorry, Britain be damned. They will always protect the monarch, especially the current regime. I mean, if you know the history of Queen Elizabeth, that chick was ruthless.
Yeah, that's her character.
Like, but here's the flip of that. Say he was murdered, and most people, I think most people in the United States and around the world believe Jeffrey Epstein was murdered.
Yeah.
That's just what they believe, and you're not going to change that, etc. My problem at the time it happened was this. If you think he was murdered and you're not demanding, protesting, and burning shit down, wanting justice for it, then you have openly admitted that we live in a world where political assassinations are okay. I said it to you. If people actually believe Epstein was murdered,
yeah,
and don't burn down the house, then we live in a world where that's okay.
I mean, to be fair, the U.S. does that a lot. I mean,
What was the guy named? Soleimani?
yeah.
What was the one the Iranian one that just happened? Like the Iranian, basically the head of the CIA for Iran. I can't think of his name. I think it's Soleimani, and then he happened right after that. And the UN said the other day it violated international law, which this is my surprised face. And the U.S. said, and?
Iran was Ahmadinejad.
That's it. No. That's the leader.
That's the only one that I can come up with. I also keep thinking of Gaddafi because I think we did kill him, didn't we?
We didn't directly.
Okay.
We just may or may not have pushed him out of power, and he ended up on the streets with a lot of pissed off people. Angry.
Right.
And according to the ME's report, was sodomized multiple times before his death.
It makes a statement.
Oh boy, that's another rabbit hole. But Epstein was a generalized dirtbag. Most of America will probably agree and probably say Jeffrey Epstein was murdered.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell, what?
You think she's gonna get it? Is that a no? Or a yes, but I'm not going to say that.
Depends. It depends on how much Q theory you believe.
Oh, don't bring. Oh, Q. Not Q. Please don't.
I'm just saying, it depends on how much of that you actually believe. But, okay, even if she doesn't get suicided. He's like, I don't care.
This dog.
He photobombs every single podcast. But even if you believe it, then you have this moment of time of going, if Maxwell survives, does she spill? That's my problem. If Maxwell survives, does she spill?
I don't know. Well, if she survives.
That's my point. Going, okay, you think she's going to get suicided.
Maybe. I will say, and I don't actually believe this, I do think there is some credibility to the theory that he's not actually dead. And in that case, I don't think she'll die, but she might be made to look like she died. I don't know.
I think he's dead.
Okay.
I legitimately think he's dead. I don't think you cover something like that up. And as bad as I hate to say it, I don't think the Clintons had the power to kill him.
I think they have the power.
I don't think they have the logistics. Not with the current White House.
Maybe not.
There's your trick. Not with the current White House.
Well, you also have to believe that the Clintons and Trump are not on the same page as far as this is concerned, which I would think they would be. If they're both guilty, which is a big assumption.
Okay. This goes into something totally different though. Do I like Trump? No. Not really. I don't like Biden either. I didn't like Obama either. You don't like any president. No, because they all suck.
Agreed.
They've all sucked since Kennedy. LBJ, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, Trump.
Yeah.
They've all sucked since Kennedy.
Can we start referring to them as George the First and George the Second?
No! That gives them way too much credit. Because there was no George the First and George the Second. It was George the First and Cheney the First. It was.
Yeah, it was.
But Ghislaine Maxwell, okay, Epstein gets suicided. Ghislaine Maxwell goes into hiding. Basically goes into hiding. There's no other way to put it. Goes into hiding. Gets arrested by the FBI for roughly the same thing. Being held in a federal prison and is still at this moment breathing, as far as we know. On the 22nd of July at 9:47 p.m., Ghislaine Maxwell is still currently breathing.
No, it's going to come out tomorrow. You just jinxed
Oh,
it.
I know. Like the very second, it's going to come out tomorrow morning. She had COVID and died of complications.
You've jinxed it. Completely jinxed it.
Okay, say she lives.
Okay.
The only reason they arrested her is to make a deal.
Yeah.
That's
information.
it. That's the entire reason they arrested her. So now I ask the question, does she talk? Because we are talking about a case, at bare minimum, that will implicate, according to theory, some of the most powerful people in the world of being, one, at very minimum, sexually promiscuous, and at most, raping and trafficking children.
See, if the authorities were smart, they've already talked to her and they've already got backups.
I don't know how I'd box this woman. I really don't. Like, I've boxed people over the years, and I have no idea how I would box her.
Oh, that's easy.
No, it's not.
Well, it's...
Ask the federal judge.
Think about what happens if she does talk and if she doesn't talk.
If she doesn't talk, you're dead.
Well, if she doesn't talk, here's the thing. Once she talks, there's no reason to kill her.
If it's on record.
If it's on record.
But you're talking about in the last week, we've had... Okay, in the last year, Epstein got arrested and died. Last week, a federal judge had her son murdered and her husband wounded by a quote-unquote FedEx driver who later committed suicide that was directly tied to the Epstein case.
If you're asking me how I would get her to talk, I'd probably go on national TV, hold a press conference, and say she's ready to talk tomorrow at this and this time.
Because if she doesn't...
Well...
Dude, that's a massive gamble.
It's a massive gamble.
That is a huge gamble.
What else are you going to do, though? How else do you get the information?
Use the Patriot Act? It applies.
Well, that's the thing. They probably already got all the information they need.
The Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act actually apply to human trafficking. Which is...
So they probably have all the information.
So ironic.
So...
Depends. How smart was she?
You're asking me how smart presidents are. Because the ones that I've seen are not that brilliant.
Yeah, especially the current one. like vote nobody 2020.
Why Yellowstone supervolcano 2020?
God, that's the only thing we're missing. Like, you have two senile assholes running for president of the United States. I'm not wrong.
JoJo 2020.
I understand that, but I thought about this today, sitting at work. Even if JoJo was to win, even if she was to win one state, which sent it into a massive constitutional crisis,
yep.
We all knew who'd be the next president.
Yeah, that's
Trump.
True. Yeah.
Because I honestly can't think of one person that would. Now, you give me a Joe Jorgensen administration and the Epstein thing going on. Oh my God, sign me up. Oh, dude, it's going to be a whole photobomb thing.
Yeah.
Like, he literally sits his face right at the edge of the camera.
I just realized
Every
that.
single time. He's like, I want to be included. That's my dog. But it's you get this moment of time of like, in a JoJo administration, this is an entirely different conversation.
Yeah.
But you're also talking about in a JoJo administration where crime is crime,
Yeah.
not
Where you're actually focusing on human trafficking, child trafficking.
child sex trafficking. Make it like that's the problem. People want to come up. You've diluted this so far.
Yeah.
To human trafficking. No, call it what is it? Call it what it is. It is child sex trafficking. Because when I started, it was still called that.
Right.
There was labor trafficking, there was sex trafficking, and there was child sex trafficking. And granted, they've simplified it, and I'm not saying it's 100% bad, but they've also diluted it because if you take somebody's passport and make them work for free and basically enslave them in the United States, it's human trafficking. Right. If you buy an 11-year-old on Wayfair and rape it for 15 years, it's human trafficking. It's not the same thing. They're both bad, but it's not the same thing.
One is far more morally reprehensible.
Stay reprehensible.
In other words, disgusting.
Like, it's one is totally a different subject. One you can psychologically recover from. The other, I'm not sure you can. And that is something that isn't talked about.
Yeah. Well, that's why for a long time, rape was one of the very few crimes that you could actually be put to death for, along with murder. But
see, and this is where I might shock the shit out of the entire world, because I am not for capital punishment.
Oh, I'm not either.
I'm
but
not.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, but it's one of those. Most people that know me,
that would be surprising to them.
That I'm anti-death penalty.
Yeah.
I'm also for total prison reform, but that's a entirely different topic. But you've got this moment of time of going, we are talking about people who are accused of trafficking 8 to 11 to 14-year-old girls and boys. Like, don't think this is a single female issue.
Right.
Boys, like in the trafficking world, in the sex trafficking world, boys are just as highly as coveted as girls.
Right.
If not a little bit more. So the allegations that are being laid out and the things that are being said end up having a massive reactionary consequence, because we're talking about the most powerful people on the planet. Like, you were literally talking about the 10 families that rule the world.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, do not go down that YouTube rabbit hole. You will be there for 9.5 hours. I'm just saying, and 95% of that's bullshit. But you've gone down that rabbit hole too.
Yeah. The
10 families that absolutely run the world. Because there's a lot of wealth in the entire world bundled into 10 families. That being said, all of these 10 families, for the most part, at the current moment in time, have a direct link in some form or fashion back to Epstein and back to Maxwell.
They've at least met. We know that.
They've at least had social interaction.
Right.
Which leads to, what do you do about it now? Because are we really hoping that we're going to indict what? The sitting president of the United States?
A former president.
At least one. At least one. The monarchy?
Yeah.
Foreign dignitaries? Like, do you comprehend the level? Say Ghislaine Maxwell comes out and talks tomorrow. Says, yes, all this happened. Yes, everything happened the way people thought it did. And this is who was there. And this. And I've got tape to prove it. Because there's stories out there right now from reputable news sources that There were people that said, I've seen
Right.
presidents on tape having sex with minors.
Yeah. Well, she didn't say presidents. She said prominent
Political figures.
Yeah.
And there was at least 4 in the United States. So now you have a serious conversation of going, do people understand the implications, like seriously, of indicting? Because I want to think Trump's enough of a decent human being to not be one of those people. But I doubt it. I doubt it. So at what point are you talking about you're indicting probably Trump, probably Prince William, probably Bill Clinton, and that's the start. You want to go through the members of Congress or Parliament?
Not really.
Like, seriously, you
Yeah.
out of 400, let's do this number up. 435? 535.
If you're including both houses,
Yeah, it's
535.
535. I was only thinking about Congress today because I got lost on a congressional candidate's tangent.
Did you go down a rabbit hole too today?
Oh my God. Problem is, I know the person I went down the rabbit hole with.
Oh, that's...
I donated to her campaign.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But you were legitimately talking about 535 members of Congress.
Yeah.
How many of them went to Little St. James as a lobbyist trip? I mean, you can run through conspiracy theories all day long.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk, so let's talk about Bohemian Grove. But you can run through conspiracy theories all day long.
Right.
That being said, if what people have alleged happened on this location, the people who frequented it were literally some of the most powerful people in the world. At that point, what do? Do you indict them? Because, hold on, you want to see the world burn like that? Indicting a sitting president, former presidents, members of Congress, members of the United States Senate, members of Parliament, members of the monarchy, and we are just over 2 countries.
Yeah. Is that how we get back into the argument of can Donald Trump pardon himself?
I think he can.
I don't think so.
Constitutionally, I don't see why he can't. I'm not saying it's a good move, but constitutionally, he can't be charged.
I disagree, but that's
I'm just saying he would have to be impeached and then tried in the Senate.
I don't think you can pardon yourself when you're president. That doesn't make much sense.
It's not supposed to make sense. Being president isn't supposed to make sense. We fought a revolution and not have a king, and what we end up with? A different one every 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
so changing the subject just a little bit, do you think there's like Patriot Act evidence? Like, do you think that there's surveillance evidence? Because if there is, what do we need her for?
Witness.
Okay. But that also means there's no point in killing her, because that means they already know everything. They just have to have a witness.
That's why I said I don't think it was anybody with inside the states that got to Epstein.
What do you mean? Like, how does that?
Who's it hurt the most?
I know who you think it was, but what difference does it make as far as the Patriot Act goes?
Oh, dude, we share all that information. Between Langley and MI6, MI5 and MI6, all that information shared.
So, I mean, yeah, they all know.
But the problem becomes, who would it hurt the most?
So are they just going to keep killing people until
They've done it since.
There's no one left?
They've done it since. When did the Cold War start?
But I mean, if they killed Epstein and if they kill Maxwell,
there's nobody left.
Just keep going down the witness line.
There's nobody left after that.
Somebody had to fly the airplanes.
If they're still breathing,
somebody handed those kids off.
Oh, good luck. That I'll tell you that from experience. Good luck. I'm not kidding. Good luck. Drive this van to this location. Here's $500. They know nothing.
No, but they were there.
Doesn't matter. They still know nothing. You can box them all day long. And by boxing, I mean stick them in an interrogation room.
I'm just saying, like, there's an endless trail here. You just have to keep pulling on threads.
You have to keep pulling on threads, yes, but only a couple of them unravel the blanket.
Okay, that
you can pull on a thread all day long, and all you're gonna get's a thread. When it comes to trafficking, these people are super intelligent.
You're talking about the single thread that unravels the blanket. If you pull enough of the threads out, that blanket's gonna be gone eventually.
But at that point, what case do you have? Who are you gonna try then? Well, the problem is you were gonna pull one thread at a time.
At the very least, you have eliminated most of the problem.
Oh, I'm not sure you have.
You don't think so?
No. Because I've worked in this world. I know how deep this goes. The problem becomes, you pull on one thread, that thread is going to... You're looking at it like you pull on one thread, eventually you pull enough there, I'll leave. The blanket falls apart.
Yeah. You
pull on one thread, and it gets replaced, and you go pull on another one from the other side of the blanket, and then you run around the back... They're constantly going to... That's how many moving parts there's going to be in something this big. Like, I've seen something 1/10 of the size of this big, and they're still walking the street today.
So, if that's the case, then what's the point?
Maxwell, that's it. Maxwell has to be the one that spills. If Maxwell doesn't spill, there's nothing.
So they kill her and this just goes away.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
I hate this world we live in.
It's easy. You know how much those pilots probably made? Millions.
Well,
I'm just saying, like, you're talking, go pull out the pilots are going to tell you to fuck yourself. They know better. You're going to go pull out bodyguards? I can tell you the people you should actually pull, and nobody's pulling them. What do you get for life if you're president of the United States?
Oh, yeah.
Secret Service.
Do you
They're
think
cops?
Do you think they actually took their Secret Service agents with them?
100%.
You really think they're that stupid?
And I think the Secret Service probably participated because the Secret Service has a track record.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of being dumb on a good day and reckless on a bad one.
Well, and that's the smart way for them to cover their butts. I mean, if you make them participate.
I've known a couple of Secret Service agents, and they're real stand-up people.
Yeah.
Like, the guys I've known are real stand-up people. None of them were on a presidential detail. One of them was on a presidential response detail. But none of them were ever neck to neck, nut to nut with the president. That being said, there's multiple proven instances where the Secret Service is nothing but a frat club.
Yeah.
Like doing lines of coke in Colombia with hookers.
Right.
Kind of frat club. That's a true story. You can go look it up.
It is.
And the problem is there's like a Secret Service agent left his freaking gun, his sidearm, his service weapon in a hotel nightstand in Florida with a hooker. Like, the Secret Service just is trashed with...
How'd that get there?
With, oh my God, what is going on? But that's the thing. I think you could probably get those guys to talk for immunity.
Yeah.
Which the funny part is, unspoken qualified immunity already applies to them.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. The problem is it actually applies to them.
Yeah.
You've got this. Oh, you want to say something?
So
I can see it.
So you think she's not going to spill?
I don't know.
See, if I'm okay, so if
I don't know.
If I'm a guilty party in the shadows and I see that she's not talking, I'm gonna wait until she gets out and I'm gonna kill her, because I can't.
FedEx or UPS?
DHL. They'll probably get the wrong address.
I don't know how DHL ever got to America or how they've survived.
Well, they've gone bankrupt, what, 6 times?
At least.
Yeah.
Like.
They'll probably get to the wrong house and their pistol will jam and they'll be like, I'm done. And they'll just leave. That's the end of it.
Do you think the federal judge thing was directly tied to Epstein?
The FedEx deal?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
It's a real question.
You're talking about the judge's son and
the judge's son and her husband.
Yeah. If not that, then what was it?
It could have been bad blood. You know how the legal system works.
I don't know. I don't know very many judges that are being targeted by former convicts. I mean, not that they are actually serious like that one.
No, he wasn't a former convict. He was a lawyer.
I only know of one lawyer who threatened to kill a judge.
The assassin was another lawyer.
I only know of one lawyer who's ever. I don't even know if he.
Seriously?
Well,
you haven't drank with many lawyers.
I mean, there's a difference between somebody who says something like that and somebody who actually goes to the judge's house and tries to kill their family.
Oh. Still a lawyer? Asking for a friend.
If it wasn't Epstein, I can't believe that it was anything else. I mean, I don't see how else that works.
The mob. Back in the 60s and 70s and 80s.
The mob?
I'm just saying the mob targeted judges.
I would think the mob, I think, should be a little bit more suave about it.
I mean, he did dress up as a FedEx driver with an actual package. I'll give him that.
That's like Tom Clancy stuff. Like that's not even like, that's not suave. That's not. I'm talking about, like, you know, make it look like they had a heart attack. Like, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh. Which is
like he had a heart attack with a pillow over his head. It's fine.
You mean like? Never mind.
What are you talking about, Greg?
Scalia.
Oh. I mean, I wasn't going to go there, but...
My favorite justice ever in the United States Supreme Court just happens to have a heart attack over his... Like, but do you honestly believe there's that many people openly ready and have the assets and the resources to just say, kill that person, be done with it?
Have you dealt with the Clintons very long? I mean, everybody around the Clintons dies. Like, everyone, they all die. I don't know what to tell you. Do they have the resources? Gee, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's possible that those people are killed by somebody other than the Clintons that, you know.
That's a lot of freaking logistics, though. That is a lot of logistics.
Here's the judge's house. Here's a FedEx truck. Here's a gun. And here's $20,000.
But you're going to take off the dead body anyway. I hate this world. I'm just saying, it's a lot of logistics. To have that many... You got to think about... We're talking about the Clintons now. How many people...
If you can give a zookeeper $3,000 and a cell phone and get charged with attempted murder.
Okay.
Or attempted conspiracy to attempt.
Conspiracy.
I don't understand what you're talking about with logistics. Like, the logistics seem pretty simple to me.
The logistics to me is just like, okay, do it once, I can see it. Do it, 39 times? Or something like that? That's the part I'm like, there's no way she can seriously keep getting away with this. Sorry, Hillary. I'm now having to, like, worry.
By the way, Hillary, we don't have any evidence. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't. If we did, we'd sell it back to you just for new mics.
Ooh.
My house burned down. I live in a house. I'd sell it back to you for a house.
Maybe we should offer to sell something.
Oh,
No, that's
no,
dangerous.
that's dangerous.
No.
We have day jobs.
Did you see that somebody the other day, did they accuse us of being like a government?
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
We're a government psyop.
Because we are that well funded. We're in a hotel room.
I have a bad haircut. No, I'm kidding. I really do like my haircut. You just can't tell because it doesn't have any product in it. Sorry, I had a bad day today.
Your hair looks fine. Actually, I think it looks better without the product in it.
Do you really think it actually looks better without product in it?
I think it does. Apparently, I'm the only one who thinks that.
I don't know. I haven't asked anybody else.
How's my hair?
Like, I just haven't asked anybody else.
It's a movie reference, and I'm pretty sure you didn't get it.
No, I didn't. The movie reference that I have right now, it was stuck in my head, is Winnie 11. We got 10. We need 11. We need 11? Yeah, we need 11. I'll call so-and-so. And I can't remember who he calls.
See, the YouTube people like it without product.
Seriously?
And they're the important people.
It's apparently lagging on my end. Because the last comment I got was DHL.
We need to sell that information, get some better stuff. Seriously.
Dude, so I'm going to say this. Okay, I'm going to sum this up. Do I think Maxwell has the information needed to convict a lot of very, very powerful people? Yes, I do. Do I think even if she spills, 90% of them will ever get charged? No.
That's fair. I don't think
because even if you have the evidence, even if you pull it and say Bill did it, Trump did it, Hillary did it, even if you pull all of them, you have the proof and video that they did it.
Yeah.
You have to get through a jury trial on a federal system.
Well, I know at least one lawyer who is probably, I haven't talked to him in a while, probably still convinced that Donald Trump is going to jail. That's a joke. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are neither one going to jail. They're just not. That's not the way that works.
Do I believe Donald Trump and Barack Obama and George W. Bush and Bill Clinton all have committed crimes that should put them in prison? Yes.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Yes. Like, and a lot of them are crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even talking about, treason, unconstitutional intent. I'm not talking about the bullshit. I am saying, as every president in my lifetime, well, I guess Bush 1's dead. I keep forgetting he actually... Did he die?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he died.
There are two that I always keep expecting to die because they're just so old. But I can't remember if he...
I'm pretty sure Bush 1 died. Right after McCain.
Oh, yeah. Died 2018.
So, Bush 1 is dead. So, every living president in my lifetime, do I believe they've committed crimes against humanity, which should put them in prison for the rest of their lives? Yes, I do. Because if you drop bombs on kids because you have some geopolitical agenda, you need to get fucked. And I say that with all love in the world. It's almost like that meme you sent me earlier. But you have got to a point. Do I think they all committed crimes? Yes. Do I think any of them will ever get convicted? No. Because you know the process for a federal jury trial. It's long. It's drawn out. and there are 12 people.
Screw the jury. I don't even care about that. The elite don't go to jail. That's not how that works.
No, there's a certain point where you get to that you don't go to prison. It used to be you at least went to a white-collar prison.
Minimum security, yeah.
Martha Stewart, tennis courts.
Wasn't there also...
The wise guys back then.
Wasn't she also on house arrest for a little while? Like, she wasn't actually...
No, she never went to prison, but the wise guys back in the day?
Yeah.
Goodfellas. Watch the movie Goodfellas.
Yeah. Contrary to common belief, there is a point where you are actually above the law.
Yes, there is. And there always has been, there always will be. Like,
which sucks.
It sucks, but it's just... Do I think Ghislaine Maxwell has enough information and evidence somewhere to convict a lot of people? Yes, I do. Do I think even if she spills, even if indictments are handed down, anybody will ever see the inside of an 8x8? No. They won't.
Yeah, they won't.
They won't. At this point, we're accepting that once you make a certain amount of money, once you get to a certain point in life, you can fuck kids and it's okay. Society has accepted. I don't personally accept that. I despise that. But society has come to the determination through force, fear, or coercion, which ironically are the three elements of human trafficking. Through force, fear, or coercion, society has come to a point to where once you get enough money and enough power and enough influence, you can literally fuck whatever you want and it's okay, including 8-year-olds. And if anybody ever tries to justify that to me, I'll block you. Like, I'm not going to have this conversation with you. Like, I won't, because I've seen the victims firsthand. And when you see these kids, when you see human beings who are absolutely fundamentally wrecked for probably the rest of their lives, that is the stuff that keeps you up at night. It's not the stuff. And this is going to be real callous, and I might take some crap for this later. The dead people you see are dead. It's over. Go look in the eyes of a 8 to 16-year-old trafficking victim. Their life hasn't even started yet, and mentally it's over. They will never be the person they were meant to be because they have been abused for the most developmental years of their life. And you have to look at this person in the face and say, it'll all be okay, and you know you're lying. So, through force, fear, and coercion, which is the exact same thing that is called trafficking, it's the elements of the crime of federal trafficking, we as a society have become trained to believe that once you're so powerful and once you're so wealthy and once you're so whatever, that it's okay. So even if Ghislaine Maxwell testifies, even if it gets to a grand jury, even if it gets to a trial, none of these people will ever see the inside of an 8x8 prison cell, much less anything worse. This is the reality we live in. Now, is it right? No. Should you, any person you find trafficking, should you rat them out? Yes. Because I do not ever want to have to see, I never want to have another law enforcement officer, another counselor, another human, another anything have to see and deal with the faces I've seen and dealt with. Because trafficking is a real issue, and child sex trafficking regardless of gender, and people wanting to, sorry for the vulgarity, but stick their dick in anything from 8 to 14, 8 to 16 are not members of society that I want to be around. As much as anti-death penalty as I am, if somebody ever came up to my daughter and tried that, that's self-defense. If somebody ever came up to anybody I know, any of the women in my life that I hold dear, especially right now, and tried that, I have a solution. And the solution is final. I will never, ever, ever stand or defend or try to defend anybody who it is evidently clear took advantage of a minor for sexual purposes, regardless of gender. That being said, we're a couple of $1,000s away from like different cameras and different studios and different everything, and it'll all be amazing. And I'm gonna quit talking about this now because we got 3 minutes left, and I don't want to think about this all night long. So, Lucas, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Twitter.
And?
At the Lucas Cohen.
Yeah, the funny part is I said and I was waiting for the Twitter and Twitter.
Oh, yeah, Twitter.
Yeah.
COHEN, in case you're wondering how to spell that last name.
Follow Lucas at the Lucas Cohen on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. I'm missing one. YouTube.
Did you say Twitter?
Yeah. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Like, if it's a social media platform, I'm probably on it. It's most of them are at Greg J. Engel, GREGJINGLE. Follow our Facebook page, Qualified Immunity Podcast. We go live here. We do all of our recordings here. You will see it before anybody else sees it. Follow me on YouTube and Facebook. That page, you will guaranteed to see it. With that being said, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about this podcast. I've ran a deal where I've said this, and I'm going to say it. If we have 10,000 subscribers, and I can see the metrics, if we have 10,000 subscribers by my birthday, which is November 13th, we're going to have our Christmas party in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I will personally fly 50 people out there and pay for your flight, your room, and your flight, your hotel, and all your meals. It'll be 3.5, 4 days in Vegas. 10,000 subscribers by November 13th. That's what happens. With that being said, we're on every single podcast platform: Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Overcast. We're everywhere. And I'm going to end this the same way I always end this, with my favorite quote in the entire world from my favorite music festival in the entire world. It is the quote of which Tomorrowland lives by. Live today, love tomorrow, and unite forever. Till Valhalla, guys.